Hi, Miss Marat here to help you go over your quiz review from today. So the first slide is a list of the targets that we covered, but then the second slide, we're going to match the equations that model the same relationship. So one will be in exponential form and one in log form. So 5 squared equals 25. That's going to tell me, okay, well, I know that 5 is the base of the log, and it looks like this one here is in the appropriate order. The base is 5, and the answer is 2, and so they're going to match up there. Why it won't match? There we go. Okay, then I'm going to look at this one. Log base 4 of 64 is equal to 3. The base of the log is 4, so I should find where the base of an exponential expression is a 4. And I'm looking for 4 to the third equals 64. And it's down here, it's just hiding. 4 to the third is equal to 64. So those match up. Here's my next one. 3 to the fourth equals 81. So since 3 is the base of that exponent, I'm looking for a logarithm with a base of 3 and an answer of 4. And so this log base 3 of 81 equals 4 shows the same relationship between the values. And then the last set, obviously they're going to match each other. But just to verify, this is log base 2 and it's equal to 5. And then the expression over here starts with 2 to the fifth. So they do go together. Log base 2 of 32 equals 5. Shows the same relationship as 2 to the fifth equals 32. We have another card sort where we're sorting into groups A or B. So group A is expressions equal to log base 2 of 8. And group B is expressions equal to log base 5 of 1/25. So I'm going to start with this -2 here. This -2 goes into the second group because since 5 squared is 25, 5 to the -2 is 1/25. And then the whole number 3 is going to go in the first group because if 2 to the third is equal, 2 to the third is equal to 8. So log base 2 of 8 is equal to 3. So I'm looking at the other options, and I know this log of 1,000 is a base 10. Since 10 to the third is 1,000, it's going to go in that first group. And log base 3 of 27, since 3 to the third is 27, it's also equal to 3, so it goes in the first group. And then over here, log base 4 of 1/16. I know 4 squared is 16, so 4 to the -2 is 1/16. So this expression also has a value of -2. And so does the last one. 3 squared is equal to 9, so 3 to the -2 is 1/9. So that means log base 3 of 1/9 is equal to -2. You're going to find these values to the nearest hundred, so 2 decimal places. So the first one is E, and we know that E is approximately 2.718. And so to 2 places, that would be 2.72, because the 8 would round the 1 up to a 2. The next one is E squared. You should get about 7.39 if you round correctly. Next is 4E, and I'm getting 10.87 for 4E. And finally, E to the E. E to the E, 15.15. Okay, on the next slide, We're looking at ordering the exponential functions from slowest to fastest growth. So I notice that I'm going to be looking for what's in the parentheses, because what's in the parentheses is the base, and functions with the smallest base will grow the slowest, okay? So I know this has a base, let's see if I can get this to right. Okay, so I have a base of E on the first one, and then 1.9 on the second one, and 2.91 on the third one. Okay, so those bases, I'm going to put them in numerical order, and then that will also put the functions in order, since they all have that initial amount of 700 and they all have the same exponent of x. Okay, so the smallest base is the 1.9. Okay, so the 1.9, that's the smallest base. And here we go. So that's going to come first. And then between E and 2.91, E is smaller, 2.718 is smaller than 2.91. So they are now in order from slowest to fastest growth. Okay, so this problem about the mold growing, when I look at the equation, m of x equals 2e to the 0 point, let's see here, it's not really writing for me. Okay, so let's see if I can get it to write. 2, there we go, e to the 0.088x. Those are 8s. This looks awful. And so it's mold growing. How much bread was covered in the mold when it was first found? So this 2 at the beginning of the equation tells me how much was there initially. So that's going to be a 2. By what percent is the mold growing each day? So I have to divide that 0.88 by 100, and I get 8.8. That's 8.8%. Oopsies. I guess you don't need the percent symbol. And then according to the model, what area of the bread will be covered in mold 10 days after it was found? And so I'm just going to put a 10 in for x. And so I have 2. It's lunchtime. I'm going to use the calculator here. Okay, so putting a 10 in for x, I have 2, and then times e, which get there, e, and then back to the main calculator. 2 times e to the 0.088 times 10. And looks like about 4.8 square centimeters. All right, we are almost done. Just have 2 more slides. Here we're solving for x. And so to do that, I think I'm going to use this pen note down here. Okay, so to solve for x, I'm looking at switching this to log form for number 1. So on number 1, I would say log base 11 of 1 is equal to x minus 3. Okay, and so I'm going to first switch it to log form. I know log base 11 of 1 is 0 because like any number to the 0 power is how you get 1. So if 0 equals x minus 3, then I just add the 3 to get x by itself. And that tells me that x is equal to 3. Okay, so just adding the x. Or sorry, just adding the 3. Okay, on number 2, 7 times 2 to the x equals 56. And so the first thing that I want to do is divide both sides by 7 so that I get 2 to the x by itself. So I have 2 to the x equals 56 divided by 7 is 8. And so you may know that as a math fact, or you could switch to log form and evaluate it. Log base 2 of 8. And that's equal to 3. So x equals 3 again. All right, and then on number 3, 10 to the x is equal to 185. So I'm going to switch that to log form on number 3 because there's nothing to isolate. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to log form. So that tells me if the base is 10, I can just, use the log. I don't have to write the base 10. And then of 185 is equal to x. And so the directions say, if the value of x is not a whole number, write your response in logarithmic form. Well, I know that 185 is not a power of 10, and so I am going to write my response in logarithmic form. So it will look like this, x equals, and then let's see here if I can open the little screen to get the log. Maybe. I think I'm in the way. Oh, there we go. Functions is right there. And so I'll do log of 185. All right, and then that is my answer for number 3 because 185 is not a power of 10. Okay. And then finally, just looking at these learning targets. So these are the basic targets that are addressed from the review and then also on the quiz. And so hopefully you're feeling like you can check these off. You have a pretty good understanding, maybe even mastery. All right, so I hope the video was helpful.